CCP to issue 50-year ultra-long bonds next week, critics say, plundering the present, mortgaging the future. Financial fraud in mainland state-owned enterprises, tens of thousands of investors may lose everything. 180,000 consumers without a place to seek justice, Huawei AITO car owners protest with banners. Vandalism at Yasukuni shrine, calculated move for viral fame. Chinese student charged with espionage for filming military ships in the US. It's all covered in today's China Truths. CCP to issue 50-year ultra-long bonds next week, critics say, plundering the present, mortgaging the future. On June 6, the Ministry of Finance of the CCP issued a notice that a 50-year ultra-long special government bond will be issued on June 14, with a total amount of 35 billion yuan, approximately $4.8 billion. This issuance of ultra-long special government bonds will be conducted through the Beijing Stock Exchange's government bond issuance system, with a 50-year fixed interest rate. The coupon rate will be determined through competitive bidding. The schedule for the principal and interest payment of this bond is as follows. Interest accrual starts from June 15, 2024, with interest payments every 6 months. The principal is expected to be repaid along with the last interest payment on June 15, 2074. Previously, the CCP authorities had first issued 30-year and 20-year ultra-long special government bonds on May 17 and May 24, respectively, each with an issuance size of 40 billion yuan, about $5.5 billion. Through bidding, the coupon rate for the 30-year bonds was set at 2.57% and for the 20-year bonds at 2.49%. Traditionally, China's special government bonds are not counted towards the fiscal deficit, and their revenues and expenditures are recorded in the central government's fund budget. The so-called special government bonds usually refer to bonds issued for special purposes or to support specific projects. Previously, the CCP authorities had issued large-scale special government bonds 3 times, corresponding to the Asian financial crisis in 1998, the global subprime crisis in 2007, and the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. On this, Zhang Jia, a former branch manager of a commercial bank in China, told Radio Free Asia that, like the previous 3 occasions, the Beijing authorities are issuing ultra-long special government bonds primarily to relieve the current severe difficulties facing the Chinese economy. Zhang Jia pointed out that of the 3 pillars of China's economy, 2 have already malfunctioned. China's consumption remains sluggish with signs of deflation, and exports are facing high tariffs due to vigilance from the United States and Europe. Now, the only option left is investment. However, the main issue is still the structural problems of the economy. The severe overcapacity is also due to these reasons, and merely issuing large-scale government bonds may not have a significant effect on boosting the economy. It is worth mentioning that in late May, the WeChat public account Quantum Leap posted an article titled Strong Signs of a Dynasty's Downfall on Platform X, which directly pointed out that the ultra-long government bonds issued by the CCP have more political than economic significance. The article said that ultra-long government bonds are equivalent to collecting future taxes in advance, quantifying future income into government bonds, and borrowing from the future, regardless of whether future revenues will materialize or not. The article further pointed out that the introduction of ultra-long government bonds will inevitably lead to the failure of fiscal rigidity over economic activities. Various levels of government will become more reckless in borrowing for projects, while corrupt officials will take the opportunity to embezzle money in these projects, attempting to keep rolling the fiscal deficits along with the tracks of ultra-long government bonds and extend them perpetually, which is simply fantastic thinking. Economically, the downfall of a dynasty goes through 3 stages: first, depleting past accumulations, then desperately plundering the present, and finally, borrowing excessively from the future. The article stated, when it comes to the last step, the downfall of the dynasty is irreversible. Financial fraud in mainland state-owned enterprises, tens of thousands of investors may lose everything. Since the beginning of 2024, a large number of publicly listed companies in China have been delisted for various reasons, among which many state-owned enterprises, or SOEs, have been found to be involved in financial fraud. Investigations into these SOEs reveal cases of fraud involving amounts ranging from tens of millions to several billion yuan. Tens of thousands of individual investors have been affected, potentially losing all their investments. According to an article by Stock Market Maverick on June 5, recently, 6 SOEs were investigated for financial fraud. Key details are as follows. First, Shenzhen Special Information Company, controlled by the Shenzhen State-Owned Assets Supervision and Administration Commission, or SASAC, was found to have falsified accounts for 5 consecutive years from 2015 to 2019, including inflating revenues and reducing costs. The total amount of reduced figures exceeded 170 million yuan, about $23.5 million, with inflated figures at 64.95 million yuan, around $9 million. There were 127,000 affected shareholders. However, the company was fined just 8 million yuan, about $1.1 million. Second, Straight Innovations Internet Company, controlled by the Pingtan Comprehensive Experimental Zone SASAC, committed financial fraud in 2018 and 2019, inflating operational revenue by 122 million yuan, about $16.8 million. There were 30,600 affected shareholders. The company was fined just 600,000 yuan, approximately $83,000. Third, Hebei Huijin Group Company, controlled by the Handan Municipal Government SASAC, reported inflated profits totaling 15.2452 million yuan, about $2.1 million, in its 2021 annual report. There were 50,600 affected shareholders. The Hebei Securities Regulatory Bureau issued a warning and imposed a fine of 2 million yuan, approximately $280,000. Fourth, Xinjiang Zhongtai Chemical Company, controlled by the Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region Government SASAC, inflated its revenue by over 4.2 billion yuan and misused non-operational funds amounting to 7.7 billion yuan, about $1.06 billion, in 2022. There were 114,000 affected shareholders. The company, its controlling shareholder, and 8 responsible individuals were collectively fined 18.8 million yuan, approximately $2.6 million. Fifth, Huawei Technology Company of Changshu City, controlled by the Zhejiang Province Government SASAC, inflated its revenue by 226 million yuan and profits by approximately 40.26 million yuan, about $5.6 million. There were 22,000 affected shareholders. The company and responsible individuals were fined 4.8 million yuan, roughly $660,000. Sixth, Jinzhou Port Company, controlled by the State-Owned Assets Supervision and Administration Commission, committed financial fraud from 2018 to 2021, inflating operational revenue by over 8.6 billion yuan, about $1.2 billion. There were 100,000 affected shareholders. Jinzhou Port and responsible individuals were collectively fined 23 million yuan, roughly $3.17 million. Regarding these cases of SOE fraud, the public account Bao Kaijing questioned the light penalties imposed, noting that even for fraud amounting to 8.6 billion yuan, about $1.2 billion, at Jinzhou Port, the fine was only 23 million yuan, roughly $3.17 million. Such penalties are merely a tickle in the face of serious financial fraud, practically encouraging more fraud. The other side of these mild penalties is that the investments of over 400,000 stockholders might be wiped out overnight. On June 5, the verified Weibo influencer Ma Yanming shared another influencer's list of companies currently under investigation for suspected financial fraud or other anomalies. In response to the widespread phenomenon of financial fraud among SOEs, the Weibo account Talk Now commented on June 5, stating that whether SOEs or private companies, all have motives to commit fraud. The key is whether regulatory authorities are genuinely effective. Moreover, it is more reprehensible for SOEs to engage in fraud for personal gain, resulting in the loss of state-owned assets, with the public paying the price. 180,000 consumers without a place to seek justice. Huawei AITO car owners protest with banners. Huawei's AITO Winji electric vehicles continue to face quality issues. However, due to Huawei's close relationship with the CCP, car owners who experience vehicle problems often have their complaints suppressed. Recently, it was reported online that many AITO car owners went to AITO 4S stores to protest, claiming that 180,000 consumers have grievances but no place to air them. On June 4, an online video showed several people at an AITO dealership's entrance, holding banners stating, 180,000 consumers without a place to seek justice, Huawei series sales deceptions are unconscionable, wait 100 days for the car, drive for 60 days and it becomes an old model. AITO stands for Series Huawei Joint Design, and the AITO series of new energy vehicles is produced by Series. According to informed netizens, Huawei updates its car models too frequently. After car owners purchase a vehicle, they wait hundreds of days, only to have a new model released a few months after they receive their car. Netizens say, it feels like their new model updates are faster than others' OTA updates. Honestly, don't they test on roads? They release new models very quickly. AITO changes models every 6 months. Huawei's AITO vehicles frequently experience quality issues. On June 5, a woman from Jinhua, Zhejiang, named Ms. Xia, posted a video on Douyin stating that her newly purchased AITO vehicle suddenly crashed on the road. In the video, Ms. Xia described the incident. In April this year, she spent 280,000 yuan on a Huawei AITO car, only to have it break down after driving just 940 kilometers. On May 14, while driving normally in the new city district, the steering wheel suddenly couldn't turn, the brakes failed, and pressing the gas pedal did nothing. She said only a few yellow lights were flashing. After restarting the car, it still did not respond. Ms. Xia believes the vehicle has quality issues and wants to return or exchange it, but the AITO service center only agreed to replace parts, i.e., repair it. Previously, some car owners posted videos showing the brand's vehicles suddenly turning off their lights while driving at night on highways. Others reported the intelligent driving system losing control and the car crashing into roadside barriers, almost causing accidents, and others complained about issues with the automatic parking system causing crashes. However, these videos were quickly deleted. On April 26, a Huawei M7 Plus crashed into a maintenance truck in Yunqing, Shaanxi Province and caught fire. 3 people in the vehicle died on the spot. The vehicle in the accident caught fire, the windows could not be lowered, and the hidden door handle did not pop out, which affected the rescue. The safety performance of AITO cars has been questioned. Vandalism at Yasukuni Shrine, calculated move for viral fame. On June 1 this year, the entrance stone pillar of Yasukuni Shrine was discovered vandalized by the Japanese public, who then reported it to the police. Chinese internet celebrity AITO admitted to being involved. He even uploaded a video of himself urinating to share with his followers, claiming he was about to do something big. He then climbed up next to the stone pillar, which had Yasukuni Shrine written on it, urinated beside it, and later sprayed the word toilet in red paint on the pillar. Following the incident, Japanese police cordoned off the scene for evidence collection. The police initiated an investigation into AITO, originally named Dong Guangming, and charged him with property damage. After the spray painting incident at Yasukuni Shrine became public, AITO said in a video that the risks around me are significant, and I don't want to cause trouble for my country. When AITO landed in Shanghai, a large crowd of fans came to greet him and cheered for him. It is evident from AITO's videos that he had planned everything meticulously. His actions, from shouting slogans, traveling, urinating, spray painting, to escaping, were well orchestrated. Fearing arrest, AITO quickly fled back to his country, ensuring his safety while also gaining millions of followers. It must be said that while many businesses are struggling, the business of patriotism seems to be thriving. Over the past few years, as an internet celebrity, AITO has been seeking ways to increase his viewership, but despite various attempts, he struggled to succeed. His actions, often crossing ethical boundaries for attention, have been unacceptable to many. AITO initially made a name for himself by exposing fake products and market chaos, amassing over 5 million followers. Later, due to crimes, self-admitted solicitation, causing disturbances, and frequently disrupting public order, he served several years in prison and was banned from major platforms. To reclaim his top influencer status, AITO made a spectacle at the Yasukuni shrine in Japan, seizing the opportunity to stir up nationalist sentiments for a comeback. His grandiloquent speech, smooth performance, and tragic hero narrative garnered him many followers who crazily liked and rewarded his videos. On June 3, spokesperson Ma Ning said, "I am aware of the reports, and I would like to emphasize that the Yasukuni shrine is a spiritual tool and symbol of Japanese militarism used to launch wars of aggression. Japan should genuinely adhere to and reflect on its history of aggression and take concrete actions to earn the trust of its Asian neighbors and the international community." The Yasukuni shrine, located in Chiyoda, Tokyo, enshrines soldiers who have died for their country since the Meiji Restoration, including 14 Class A war criminals from World War II, among the over 2.4 million enshrined there. China and South Korea, among other Asian nations, have long viewed the Yasukuni shrine as a symbol of Japanese militarism. Annual offerings by Japanese officials also have provoked dissatisfaction from China. However, vandalism and urinating are uncivilized acts. Even if it was an emotional outburst, using such uncivilized and immoral methods is truly embarrassing and disgraceful on an international level. Chinese student charged with espionage for filming military ships in the U.S. The U.S. Department of Justice has charged a Chinese citizen with 6 counts under the Wartime Espionage Act for using a drone to photograph the U.S. Navy shipyard in Virginia, which is actively producing aircraft carriers and Virginia-class nuclear submarines. The 21-year-old Chinese student, Feng Yinshi, came to the U.S. to study how to detect crop diseases and pests in photos using artificial intelligence. However, in January, he went to a military shipyard in Virginia and took out a drone to film the shipyard, which was unrelated to his studies. According to testimony submitted by the FBI, the photos were confirmed to have been taken at the Newport News shipyard and BAE Systems. At the time of the incident, Shi's drone got stuck in a tree near a residential area, and the public called the police. Shi quickly returned the rented car and abandoned the drone to leave Virginia within an hour. Professor Xie Tian from the University of South Carolina Aiken School of Business said, if he was completely innocent, he wouldn't have needed to flee. So, his fleeing suggests that he might have been scared or didn't want to get into more trouble. Of course, it's more likely that if there really was a problem, then he wouldn't want to leave any incriminating evidence behind. The Department of Justice has charged Shi with 6 misdemeanor counts under the Espionage Act, including prohibitions on photographing and using aircraft to photograph important military installations, with each charge carrying a maximum penalty of 1 year in prison. While awaiting trial, Shi, whose passport has been confiscated, must be supervised. Xie Tian added, because the Chinese government has sent many students and visiting scholars as tools to help gather intelligence. If he really was a spy, we can't rule out this possibility, especially given the sensitive timing and the sensitive subjects of his photographs. Another possibility is that he might have an interest in military affairs, but not necessarily be a spy or intelligence agent sent by the Chinese government. However, it cannot be ruled out that he also knew that this information could be sensitive and useful to the Chinese government, and that after taking the photos, he could take them back to China for a reward. In recent years, U.S. media have reported over 100 incidents of Chinese citizens entering U.S. military airfields, often posing as tourists or businessmen, sometimes equipped with drones. Don't forget to comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. If you find the information helpful, Please share this video with a friend to watch together. This will be a great source of motivation for our team to produce more and more quality and reliable videos. And also don't forget to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths. Thank you for tuning in.